The title of this episode is Part 2 of Mr. Marsden's 5th grade class. This is being recorded October 18th, 2022. I'm Jack Lynch. It involved Mr. Ted Marsden, the 5th grade teacher at New Windsor School in New Windsor, New York. It also involved his whole classroom there from the springtime of 1964. One of those individuals in particular was Charlie McDonough. Charlie wasn't the best or the brightest or the best looking, but Charlie was likable. Mr. Marsden thought Charlie was a good kid. He treated him with respect. One of these days in the springtime, Charlie had answered a question that Mr. Marsden had posed to the class. I forget what it was, but Charlie's answer was simple. It was sort of humorous. That put that little glint, that sparkle in Mr. Marsden's eye. And that told us Mr. Marsden had something to do. He had something to prank. He sure did. He remembered that old Andrews Sisters song, Charlie My Boy, and he sang part of it to Charlie McDonough. Mr. Marsden got up from his desk, moved front and center of the class, and started. Charlie my boy, oh Charlie my boy, you thrill me, you kill me with shivers of joy. Bum 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 bum, you got the kind of sort of wonderful ways that takes me, tell me what shall I say. And when we dance, I read in your glance whole pages and ages of love and romance. They tell me that Romeo was some lover too, but boy, he should have taken lessons from you. You seem to start where others get through. Oh, Charlie, my boy. And the emphasis was on Charlie. The class was all in smiles. Charlie McDonough was proud. There's no red face there. He thought it was pretty cool. Mr. Marsden sat back down and we went back to work. The next thing that came up was a few weeks later, Mr. Marsden said that we were going to learn a foreign language phrase. He was going to teach it to us. All we had to do is repeat the word after him, and when the next word came up, repeat it and put it with the first word, and so on. So he started us off. He said, "Oh wah," and the class repeated it, "Oh wah." Then he said, "Tagu." The class repeated it, "Tagu." So he said, "Okay, put it together. Oh wah, tagu." The class said, "Oh wah, tagu." Then he said, the final word is Siam. Everyone said, Siam. He said, "Put it together now." He said, Owa, Tagu, Siam. The class said it. Owa, Tagu, Siam. He said, "Let's go faster now. Owa, Tagu, Siam. Owa, Tagu, Siam." He said, "A little bit faster now. Owa, Tagu, Siam." He says, "Yes, oh what a goose you are." That proud smile was there. The class realized they'd just been had big time. They laughed. Everyone sat down and went back to work. The final item here is my keepsake of that class. From time to time, several of us were sent down to the basement, to the science room. This room had all sorts of stuff. It had chalkboard, it had all kinds of wires and test tubes and science stuff down, just piles of the stuff that had built up over the years. Somebody was hoarding science stuff, I think. Our job as students was to go down there and sort through it and put it in an order where people could go in there and find stuff that they were looking for without digging through piles. There's a lot more work to that than I thought. We went down to that basement and worked on it for probably a couple days a week for 3 or 4 weeks. Stuff got thrown out. One of the items that was going out was this big lens. It was a glass lens that was about, in the middle, it was about an inch thick, it was about 6 inches in diameter. It looked like it had come out of an overhead projector. Part of that lens had chipped out. The projector probably had fallen over, broken, and the lens flew out broken like that. It was garbage material. I picked it out of the garbage and I took it home because I knew that I could use it for looking at stuff. Still worked fine for that. And I could focus the sun's rays and burn ants. Years later, it went to outdoor school with me, and when I'd have a crew of kids outside, I'd pull out the lens and we could all look at whatever we were wanting to look at the same time. It was kind of neat. It went in my drawer at home. I'd pull it out from time to time and remember Mr. Marsden. To this day, I still have that lens. To this day, it's my keepsake of Mr. Marsden's 5th grade class. Mr. Marsden, I'm grateful for all the things I got to see, the good pranks, and the most important thing I ever learned, which was how to be prepared and to speak. Thank you.